This is Dan of Vagabond Awake.
李常伟 from Hope Venture.
And today we'd like to answer the question, is the Dominican Republic the Philippines of the Americas? Okay, and we're going to compare the Philippines and the Dominican Republic with respect to
Restaurant,
groceries,
alcohol,
rent,
safety,
sand,
wind,
beaches,
visa.
and dating.
You want to date again?
And we're going to be talking about the 5 towns, Santo Domingo, Las Terrenas, Puerto Plata, Cabaret, and Sosua.
Let me say it again.
Okay.
Santo Domingo, La Teresa, Puerto Plata, Cabaret, and Sosua. Which one is speak better? Tell us.
From my perspective, the restaurants in Dominican Republic in the tourist areas, the more expensive tourist areas, seem to be more expensive than the Philippines.
Oh yeah, food will be more expensive than in Philippines.
Yeah, and it wasn't just there. I also noticed that in the locals area, the locals restaurants were, there were no $1-2 meals like you see in the Philippines. Not in the expat restaurants, but some of the locals areas, food carts, markets. I didn't see that in the Dominican Republic. It seemed to start around $3-4 for local restaurants.
Yeah, so you mean that in Dominican Republic the food is more expensive than Philippines?
Yeah, I would say if you're going to go out for a meal, whether it's a local restaurant or food cart, you better expect to start spending around $3-4. And if you're going to an expat restaurant, you're going to start around $7, $8, or $9 for an entree.
Yes, and you have to pay for the tax,
Yes.
the government tax,
Yes.
18% plus the service charge 10%, the minimum. The total is 28% you have to put on the bill.
And for some reason, not all the restaurants
Yes,
were
not
charging
all.
both.
Yes.
Some of them were paying the 18% tax themselves
Yeah.
and charging you only the service tax of 10%. And some were not charging either. They were letting you decide how much to tip, and
Yes.
they weren't adding either. You would just tip normally.
Actually, they already counting the 18% inside the food.
Yeah.
So it's not like other restaurant. They show you the food cost, and then the extra add on the 18% and the 10%.
Right.
So it's depend on the restaurant. That, by the way, yes, the food in the Dominican is more expensive. And one thing is, I like the pastry and the bread in the Dominican Republic. It is so amazing. We have a best croissant in Santo Domingo.
Yeah. There in the Philippines, you'll run into a bakery here and there, and some of them are good, some are not. But overall we found much better bread and pastries in the Dominican Republic.
Even in the grocery store, the bread choice is like crazy.
Yeah, it's a
So
huge selection,
Yes.
and so that's great. And you mentioned grocery stores. Which one do you think the food is more expensive at a grocery store or a market in the Philippines or in the Dominican Republic?
Dominican Republic is near to the U.S., so they have a lot of goods is imported from the U.S. It's easily, so you can buy a U.S. product in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
Okay, but in Philippines, the choices of imports of good is less, so it's not that easy. So the price definitely in Dominican Republic is more higher.
yeah,
And then one thing is they don't have a local market in Dominican Republic.
yeah. When we're in the Philippines, often in many cities, there'll be a market near the center of town where the locals are selling fruits and vegetables and meats at really reasonable prices that have been grown locally, and so you don't see those prices in the Dominican Republic. But they do have small stores in many towns, like a store that just sells vegetables and
Yes.
fruits, and then another one near it that just sells meat.
Yes.
And so they're local selling these things, but they don't seem to be in these aggregated into these big markets.
Yes.
So, and overall, the food's more expensive in the Dominican Republic, like you said. So, yeah.
Yeah. And the next one is the alcohol.
Alcohol.
Alcohol, the beer is same price with the Philippine price. It's $1 you buy in the. Is the big bottle the beer in the Dominican Republic is about like $2, and then in Philippines is about $1.50 to $2 for the big bottle. So it's almost the same price for the
Yeah,
alcohol.
just a little more in the Dominican Republic, but it's not. It's and as far as selection goes, they both seem to have the same selection. I would say they have the high-end scotches and vodkas and all that, and specialty stores that you'll see everywhere we went. And they also have wines imported. They both seem to have the same
Yes.
selection. And the bottom price is around $3-4 for a bottle of wine
Yes.
in both places. So that probably sums it up for alcohol. So your alcohol budget's going to be about the same.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about dating next, but first, visas.
Visa is very important. You
Yeah.
decide whether you can meet the loved ones in that country or not. So you need to know visa.
Of course. So both of them are kind of the same. When you try to figure out what's going on by reading their embassy web pages and whatnot,
Yeah.
it's kind of confusing. But they both give you 30 days on arrival.
Yes, for the U.S. citizen or Malaysia citizen, when you arrive in Dominican Republic or Philippines, you have 30 days on arrival visa.
Right.
The problem is extensions.
Yeah, it's all about extensions, right?
The extension in Philippines is super easy, and we have experienced that.
Yeah. You can, for 36 months, you can just extend once a month all the way to the end. And you can do it in 6-month visits to the immigration office. There's no paperwork involved. Pay the money, fill out a little form.
Yes.
Bam, another 6 months. All the way up to 36 months.
So, and where is the best place to store your passport in Philippines? Immigration office. So we met a lot of people and something. I go to extend my visa in the Philippine immigration office. I go there every 6 months. Why you go there every 6 months? Oh, I go there renew, and then I never take my passport. And after the 6 months expire, I just go to again and renew and leave my passport over there.
Yeah, I don't recommend that though.
Yeah.
I like to have my passport.
Yeah, yeah.
And then in the Dominican Republic, we thought that you had to fill out some form online to get the extension, provide bank statements and all this sort of thing. And we're like, that seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, we have the check, and then it's asked about the document and the medical checkout or something. If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
it's too much thing. That's why.
But we learned from our good friend driver here that that you just stay as long as you want.
Yeah.
You can stay 10 years, and when you go to exit, they charge you a penalty. Like I think he said the penalty for 5 years is like $1,000 or something. So it's not even that expensive really. But we're not really interested in that.
Yeah, we prefer to follow the legal rules. Everything is. I don't want to break the rule.
Yeah, because technically it means you're overstaying,
Yeah.
and they're penalizing you. And we never want to have it show up in any database anywhere in the world that we overstayed a visa. We always follow the rules because we want the doors to be open whenever we travel around the world.
Yes.
So we're not interested in that. The visas, you decide for yourself.
Yes, you decide for yourself. Okay, the next one is
Dating?
dating. Are you interested in dating a woman? Talking about dating, okay, from my point of view is the men over there, yes, they are tall and muscular. They went to the gym, they have a six-pack, very nice. And the woman in Dominican Republic, they are tall. I love tall women,
Yeah.
And some of them, they have a potential to be a model as well. They are very skinny, tall, beautiful skin,
Yeah.
beautiful body, and beautiful face and everything.
Yeah. So one thing we see in Dominican Republic that we saw a lot of in the Philippines was a 60 or 65-year-old man with a beautiful 30, 35-year-old woman. Mm-hmm. And we also saw in Dominican Republic a woman, I would guess she was maybe 50, and she was with a beautiful man that Chung's talking about, with the muscles and all that. So.
You can find a lot in the beach.
And so sometimes we get the questions, hey, that's not fair. How come the old guys get the young girls? Where do women go for that? Dominican Republic.
Yeah, so we can probably. I never tried, so I cannot recommend. I cannot give you any recommendation. Just kidding.
Safety. So nothing happened to us in either place.
Touch wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. But we just felt a little safer in the Philippines. Maybe because we were there longer and we got more comfortable and we knew areas and stuff like that. And maybe over time that feeling of safety would develop in the Dominican Republic. In fact, I have a video about how your zone of safety should expand over time and distance. And so that applies here. But I would say overall, I felt safer in the Philippines.
Yes, one thing that I have to mention is we stay in the tourist area in Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
And I cannot comment about the other safety, but if in the tourist area, we feel safe in
Yeah.
Dominican Republic, and even Dan went out at night with his friends to visit him in Cabaret. They went out at night and
Yeah.
they walk around that town. It's safe in the
Yeah,
town.
no one even looked at us twice.
It's
just,
tourist area.
it's a tourist
you know.
area. It's very nice, so no trouble at all.
Yes.
Okay, what about rents?
What about rent?
The rents start in Dominican Republic and the Philippines around $200, but you're not going to get much for $200.
Yeah, it's about. I saw one in Sosua. You can get like $150 per month. It's a studio with a kitchen, simple kitchens, and a bedroom and a toilet.
Right.
Yes.
And then in other areas of the Philippines, it can be more. Like Cabaret, it's more of a tourist area, and you could pay like $800 a month, somewhere like that, and it'll be
Yeah.
really nice with beautiful grounds and a swimming pool. And so there's a huge variance, as you can see, in rent. So it just depends on what your budget is, what area you want to be in. And in both the Philippines and the Dominican Republic, you could spend $1,000 or $1,500 a month if you want in rent. So there's a huge range. But I would say if you're willing to live in a studio apartment with a small kitchenette, you're going to be able to find something for $200 to $300 in both the Dominican Republic and the Philippines. Okay, now sand, wind, and beaches. Now I've told you before that the Philippines have some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. We're talking white sand beaches, no one around. You have to take a private ferry to get there. You have that beach all to yourself. White sand, turquoise waters. I mean, the Philippines are amazing in that way. And so it's hard to beat the beaches in the Philippines, let's be honest. But it's not usually where you live. Where you live, you have to, in order to get to that beach, you have to ride a ferry or whatever.
Yes.
And the Dominican Republic is more like Mexico, where you're in a city, you walk a few blocks, bam, you're on the beach. The Dominican Republic doesn't have the white sand beaches like you see in the Philippines, which the cities in the Philippines don't either. It's more of a tan colored beach or even darker colored sand in some of the cities, and both have beautiful water. So it's, I would say, if you want a beach right where you're living, where you can just walk out, Dominican Republic is going to win that. It's going to have almost as beautiful water as the Philippines, but the sand's not going to be white. It's not going to be as good for Instagram pictures, but it's hard to beat. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, as an example, in Sosua and La Teresnas, they have more tranquil water over there, and the sand is a little bit darker than the white sands, like tan colors, but it's still beautiful color of the beach.
And they both have the palm trees and the foliage, and they're both paradise, let's face it. It's just a matter of how far you want to drive on your scooter or what ferry you want to take to get to a perfect beach, or whether you want to walk out of your house and have almost as good.
And the wind is, we don't have much wind. We didn't experience the strong wind in Philippines.
Not where we went.
Yeah.
Maybe they have it somewhere else, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but we was in the Dominican Republic. The beaches is very strong. So it's good for the kite surfing.
Yeah, if you're a kite surfer or a wind surfer, it's going to be hard to beat Cabaret in the Dominican Republic. I mean, it's just like we'd go out at sunset and we'd count 50 kite surfers out there, and really strong wind. I mean, it's really great for that. So, and both the Philippines and the Dominican Republic have beautiful snorkeling and beautiful diving, and so they're both great for that.
One thing I have to say, snorkeling and diving, Philippine wins in what pricing?
Pricing, and yes.
The pricing definitely is cheaper.
Yes.
How much we pay for the snorkeling to see the clam?
On Apo Island? Oh, the giant clams.
Yes.
Yeah, on Camaguin Island.
And Apo Island or whatever.
Yeah.
It's $3.
$3 for a guide. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's it's crazy cheap.
Yes,
so it's hard to beat that.
It's hard to beat that.
And there's generally more turtles in the like we went to Apo Island on one dive we saw crazy amount of turtles.
That
Like
is
6 or 8
crazy.
turtles on, not diet. We're just snorkeling off the
Yeah,
sand,
it just
off the
come
beach.
around us. Wow, that's paradise.
Yeah,
Both are paradise.
right. They're both paradise. Okay, we said that we would answer the question: Is the Dominican Republic the Philippines of the Americas?
So what's the answer?
I think it is. I think it is. It's closer to the U.S., so
Yes.
it has that going for it.
Yes.
But it's a little more money.
Yeah, it's little bit money than the Philippines.
Yeah, but it's way less money than most of the other islands in the Caribbean.
And you have, it's quite, a lot of American food that you can get over there as well. You can get your comfort food.
Yeah, and and it has that same quality of the Philippines, where the sports are the same, and they have the TV, and it's in the same time zone. And if you're coming from America and you're going to the Philippines to find love, you're going to find love
In Dominican
Republic too.
Yes.
I would say that part of it's the same too.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
And so when we in the La Terrace, when we in the cabaret, we met some of our subscriber.
Oh, yeah.
What you call the subscriber?
Yeah.
And then they came to us, they recognize us, they say hi to us, and they say, "I found my paradise in Dominican Republic, and I don't want to leave."
Yeah, and so the same enthusiasm that you'll find in the Philippines for expats that have moved there, you're going to find the same people in the Dominican Republic. And so it seemed very similar to me in many ways,
Yeah.
including being cheap. It's a little more than the Philippines, but it's closer.
Yeah, it's closest to the US and a little bit more than Philippines. But if you're looking for love, then Dominican is your country to find love.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching our video.
Thank you for watching our video.
Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for watching our video. Click the link in the notes below this video to get a copy of this content. Plus, grab a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. While you're there, check out our catalog of retired cheap reports all over the world and our hobby income course that we just released. Thanks so much.